Okay, well, welcome everyone to our Saturday morning A-Team call. I'm very excited about this call today, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful holiday season. And I know that my family and we've had a wonderful Christmas yesterday, and just watching the kids open their presents and see the excitement on their faces. That it's priceless, and I love when they get excited. And I love when I see other people get excited about things, about life. And there's a lot of things to be excited about life today. There's a lot of things in Take Shape for Life to be excited about. We're helping a lot of people out with their health. And we're helping a lot of people out in many other ways too, financially, mentally, and just giving people purpose, giving people meaning in life. And I'm very excited about our call today and excited about the lineup that we have. Before I get started, though, let me go ahead and say the A-Team motto, and that is, you have the ability to achieve greatness by always doing something positive and by being accountable for all of your actions. And I do believe that to be true. You have the ability in you to be great. And as long as you're doing the right things, you're doing things that will positively affect you in the future, and that you're accountable for your actions, and you're getting together with your mentor, and you're working things out, you're planning it out, and we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk about setting some goals and some action steps you can take to really make 2016 a really great year, but also just knowing that we still have almost a week left in 2015. You've got a lot of things you could do over the next week to really end up strong this year. And like I said, we have some great speakers. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce my co-host, Integrated Presidential Director, Doug Wood.
Hey, what's going on, Brian?
Hey, how you doing, Doug?
Good. It's as you were just saying that about Christmas yesterday, obviously had a lot of fun with the family and stuff, as we all did. But there's something special about this time of year, and obviously not just what Christmas represents, but as we head into this next season of health, not just for ourselves, but also for the people who need us the most. And I was driving home from my parents' condo yesterday afternoon, and I just was thinking, somehow T and I ended up in separate cars, but I was just thinking, and this joy and this excitement came over me as I was just beginning to kind of think to myself as I was driving, because I didn't even have Christmas music playing, of the fun that begins for us as health coaches right now, and that so many people are waking up this morning saying, okay, Christmas is over. I need to call Brian, or I need to call Doug, or I need to call so-and-so. And we're beginning to examine areas of our life. And I was even driving yesterday, just examining like, wow, what's possible in 2016? And so many people are asking themselves that question today. And just this excitement that all of us as health coaches here this morning, I know it might be like the day after Christmas hangover, just with, spent a lot of time with family and laying around yesterday. But now the fun really begins for each one of us. So I know we got a packed call, so we can move on with that. But I'm with you, Brian. I'm just excited for this next season as we get to really help and assist a lot of people who really do need us.
Yeah, Doug. I love the stories that come out of Take Shape for Life. I'm looking forward to more and more stories of people that are, achieving better health in all areas of their life. And I saw this quote before we bring on our first speaker here. I saw this quote this morning. I think it was Joanne Brewer on her wall on Facebook. And I love it. It says, every morning you have two choices: continue to sleep with dreams, or wake up and chase your dreams. The choice is yours. I love that. We have a choice. And, so now we're going to bring on our first guest speaker. It's my privilege to bring on Dave Blanchard. And Dave, if you haven't read his book, Today I Begin a New Life, it's a great book. And those of you that were privileged enough to hear Dave speak at National Convention this year, You know what I mean when I say that Dave's a great guy, and he's got some great things for us today to talk to us about. So Dave, are you there? Can't hear you yet. Unmute you here.
There we go. How's that?
Oh, good. Gotcha.
Wonderful. Great to be with you. Thank you, Brian. Here with some great friends. Thank you for the privilege of joining you this morning. And Doug and Tia, Doug, I just love you to death. You know that. And I know Terry's with us this morning as well. David and Terry, just great human beings. I'm so excited to be here. Yesterday was with family, and I have to tell you, Brian, I posted a picture on Facebook of all 43 of us as we're gathering to open presents. And one of my favorite comments came from an old high school buddy I've known for 42 years, and he said, "Looks like a great morning." And then he said something about that skinny Santa Claus. That was referring to me, which is true. Skinny Santa Claus. He hasn't always known me as Skinny Santa Claus, so it's great. Well, it's wonderful to be with you. We're going to do something this morning that is born out of the coaching sessions I've had with personal coaching clients for the last week. We've been exploring not just goal setting, but a concept I would like to call dream selection. Dream selection. How do we actually create our dreams? I'm a bottom line guy, so I like to get down to the basics because great leaders intuitively do this. You know, all you need to do is, and I'm going, well, I just know how everyone's thinking. We've done 1,000 intentional creation assessments now with Take Shape for Life coaches, and there are so many thought processes in the way. Let's get down into that space. Let's clean this up, and let's get you ready for 2016. Let's round out the year with this last week, and then let's launch into 2016 in a way that you are actually creating your dreams and the dreams of others. So, Brian, thank you so much for this privilege. I can tell you, everyone that's on this call today lives what I'm about to share with you. They absolutely live it. In scroll number 9, in Og Mandino's The Greatest Salesman in the World, 10 scrolls, 10 time-tested principles of success. Og Mandino said this. He said, "My dreams are worthless." That's an amazing comment. Worthless. My plans are dust. That means the paper just disintegrates and it goes away. My goals are impossible. All are of no value unless they're followed by action. Now, we all know this. He went on to say later, if I want to increase my value, I must increase my actions. So action seems to be a key. I will walk where the failure fears to walk. I will talk when the failure remains silent. I will work when the failure seeks rest. I will call on 10 who can buy my goods while the failure makes grand plans to call on 1. I'll say that it is done before the failure says it is too late. He's making his case. And then he rounds it out with this. I hunger for success. I thirst for happiness and peace of mind. Lest I act, I will perish in a life of failure, misery, and sleepless nights. So we know that action is a key. But the question we have is, what drives action? Well, sometimes it can just be obligation. I have to, I should, I must, I need to, even fear of consequences if I don't. That kind of motivation is not sustainable. We want to be driven by passion. Passion is a 14th century word. It means a willingness to suffer for something I love. Now write that down, and when you write love, write it in capital letters because we're going to start to find the secret here in a moment. Suffer for something I love. Got that? Okay. Now, passion. What ignites passion? That willingness to work without cost or tracking the time. We don't count costs. We just do whatever is required to create intangible reality, our dreams. What creates this? Now we're going to start to open the lid and take a look at the engine that drives these great leaders. Intrinsic motivation. Sound familiar? Take shape for life. You have an acronym, AIM, AIM, Awaken Intrinsic Motivation. Okay. But if we don't know what intrinsic motivation is, how do we awaken it? And that's where we're going to focus today. We're going to focus on awakening intrinsic motivation, because when we awaken it, it ignites our passion. Passion drives our actions, and we actually create our dreams. So we're going to go right down into the core of this issue. And to ignite intrinsic motivation, we're going to want to know how to do dream selection. It's going to determine whether we're intrinsically motivated. Intrinsic motivation, dream selection. We find the answer to this, interestingly, in the formal science of axiological mathematics. Using Cantor's transfinite calculus. Oh, my mouth is dry. I'm so excited to share this with you. Using this formal science, and you don't need to remember any of that. What you need to know is this mathematics. Using this mathematics, we can value everything, mathematically value everything in the universe, from people to things to ideas. The mathematical hierarchy happens to be 18 levels deep. This was the most interesting piece. The first 3 measurements is where we find intrinsic motivation. The first 3. The 3 highest of the 18. It's no secret they're the highest. I'm going to introduce 3 words to you. Intrinsic. 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 We won't be intrinsically motivated, but we want to be intrinsically motivated about intrinsic things. So intrinsic. Below that, write the word extrinsic. EXTRINSIC. Below that, systemic. That's system with an ick on the end, IC on the end, systemic. Intrinsic, extrinsic, systemic. The 3 dimensions in which we think. What's intrinsic mean? It means things beyond value. Beyond value. An intrinsic concept is a person, a human being, priceless, unique. Extrinsic. This is all about our tangible world. Tangible, comparable, contrastable, measurable. We could call it things. Simply call it things. Extrinsic equals things. Systemic. These are things that exist only in our mind. This is discipline, structure, ideas, policies, procedures. For now, we're just going to refer to discipline and structure. That would be our systemic piece. Now, we're going to take each one of these and we're going to value each one of them intrinsically. That's the mathematics. Intrinsic, valued intrinsically. We can value a human being based on their appearance, their belief systems, their performance, but this is a higher level of value. We value a person intrinsically for their uniqueness. We're going to love them enough to inspire them, to breathe life into them, to wake them up to their potential as a human being. They already have it. They've got lots of dialogue going on in their head, that emotional baggage, that unhealthy mind. We're going to help them release that. We're going to help them create a healthy body so they can have a more healthy mind. Healthy finances so they can have a healthy mind. Intrinsically value these people. Og Mandino said it so beautifully in scroll number 4. He said, inside me there is a flame which has been passed down from generations uncounted, and its heat is a constant irritation to my soul to be better than I am. I will fan these flames of dissatisfaction and proclaim my uniqueness to the world. in Take Shape for Life, it's about inspiring someone to identify that flame, to feel its heat, and to fan that flame, and to become the person they deserve to become, to shed this weight, to shed this emotional baggage, to create emotional, well, I said at a convention, I said to create spontaneous giggles. Giggles, they come, these aren't giggles that are funny, these are giggles that come from the fibers of their being. When they try on that dress they haven't worn since high school, or maybe never, a dress size. They have someone say, skinny Santa Claus. I giggled this morning when I read that. That's a spontaneous giggle. To release the emotional baggage so that we keep the weight off and inspire someone to pay this forward so they too can have healthy finances. Loving people at that level, learning how to intrinsically value them. That means to listen to them, to step into their world, take down their walls of resistance, and care enough to stand up for them even when they don't have the strength to do so for themselves, to walk by their side and create this result in their life. That's intrinsic motivation. And interestingly, 88% of Take Shape for Life coaches have this capacity at an extremely unprecedented level. Also a lot of noise going on that robs us from getting here. We want to learn how to intrinsically motivate, because when we do, when we love someone at this level, we will hear things nobody else is hearing. We will see things nobody else is seeing. We'll have the courage to ask questions that nobody else would dare ask. When we get to this level with someone, an intrinsic validation, they will make an intrinsic decision. Intrinsic decision. That's number one. So that's the first piece. So we get intrinsic motivation from caring about a person at this level, listening to them, getting an inspired idea, and asking them a question and discovering it's exactly what they needed to hear. When we perfect intrinsic validation, we are intrinsically motivated, because when their walls come down, their cooperation and productivity flood over us. It is one of the most beautiful experiences we can have. Just it brings such joy. And it is of the highest mathematical value. That's number one. Number two, this is the one that has me most excited this morning, because I think you understand number one. We've experienced it in moments. We want to experience it more frequently. It's the second one that creates the confusion. It's intrinsically valuing extrinsic. Intrinsically valuing things. Now I'm going to give you an example, because it doesn't matter how much the thing costs. It's not about its price. It's what it does to you as a person. When we intrinsically value a thing, it speaks to our soul. It inspires us. It breathes life into us. It encourages. I love that word, encourage. Cour in French means blood or heart. Encourage. It adds to our heart. It speaks to the fibers of our being. And it doesn't matter the cost. I'm going to give you an example of a really inexpensive one. When you see the recording of this, you may see the ring that I'm holding up to the screen. If you're on a telephone, you won't see it. But it's a beautiful setting, but it's not a diamond, it's a cubic zirconium. 1988 and 89, real estate market collapses in Southern California. We lose millions of dollars, millions. I'm left with $1 million in debt. I'm the corporate guarantor. We would spend the next 10 years paying back that $1 million. Early in that process, Ramona took off her diamond that I'd given her for our 10th wedding anniversary. 3.01 carat, almost investment quality diamond, beautiful diamond setting, had rubies in it. Her favorite scripture is virtue is more precious than rubies. So I had this built for her by my Rotary buddy. And she took it off and handed it to me. Said, use this to buy us a new home. Well, we did. So I took the diamond out of my ring, put it in a ring that had a tanzanite stone, and gave it to her to wear. And put my setting away in a drawer. Well, that year I was doing some remodeling on this house we bought, and I was using a compound saw, and I came down and I cut my ring finger. Thank goodness I had the ring on because the blade bounced off. It still cut me from knuckle to knuckle and exposed the bone in my finger. The doctor took the ring off, sewed off my hand, and later that year, Christmas, special time this year, Christmas, she spent $75. That's all she'd saved up, and bought a cubic zirconium and put it in this setting. I will never put a diamond in this. No matter how much money I have, I will never put a diamond in it. All I have to do is touch this ring. I intrinsically value it. The sacrifice that was made that Christmas, for all of the principles that have been taught over those 10 years, all the lessons that were learned, all the prices that were paid to learn them. Instantly, just touch it. It's a thing, but I value it intrinsically. Now, let's go to another place. The thing can also be very expensive. Very expensive. Brian and I were talking the other day. He has a beautiful home. Now, I didn't ask him permission to tell you this, but I'm going to anyway. He said he was at church one Sunday, and somebody said, "Where do you live?" He said, "I live on this road." And the person's response was, "Do you live close to the mansion?" Brian's thinking, how do I tell him that's where I live? Because Brian doesn't tell people. It's not about how people view his mansion. Got that? He doesn't, in the creation of that, he didn't spend time fantasizing about what it was going to be like to have it. He didn't spend valuable, productive time living out scenarios of swimming in the pool or out in the yard playing. He didn't go there. He wanted to actually create it. He didn't build it to hide from the world. He didn't buy it to impress his neighbors or the congregants at his church. It spoke to his soul. It reminded him of the kind of person he wanted to become, to stretch and grow and become that person. I know his dreams of what he wants to do, to share it with his leaders, to inspire them, to have gatherings, to take Shape for Life people to a new level, to show them what's possible, to inspire them to be intrinsically motivated for the thing they want. Not necessarily a house like his, but it's the vehicle to help them see what's possible. Terry and David have a beautiful home in Maui. Now, some people might think they want to go there and hide from the world. Do you know how many people they invite to come, and how many people, Doug? You and Tia have been at that house. You spent a week there. You invited. They love to share this. They bought it to bless the lives of people. It's inspiring, excellent, high quality. It reflects the person they've become. And they want to inspire other people to become that way. And Terry said something to me the day that was really precious. She said, having great people at that home inspires her. That's why she and Terry have this home in Maui. Doug and Tia. Last year, they won the Brad McDonald Award. They've got one of the fastest growing businesses in the company. It is not about the money. It never was about the money. I know, I spend time with both of them, and we talk about how they're going to change the world. That's what the money's for. You talk to Dr. Ray. Let's take him. Now, he doesn't know I'm going to share this, but I know he's done it publicly. He's shared from stage at the convention that before he owned his sailboat, he had a picture of his sailboat on his dresser. Why? To intrinsically motivate him. It was not something he fantasized about. It was not something that would help him hide from people. It was not about ego. Those who have been to his beautiful home in Annapolis and have been on that boat tell me stories about how he uses it as a vehicle to inspire them to be a better person, to become all that they're possibly can become, to see things maybe they haven't been willing to see yet, that he can see in them. That sailboat serves his family. It serves him as a reminder of the sacrifices he's making and the person he's become, and he uses it to serve other people. One more example. Within the hour, Ramona and I leave for our cabin in Bear Lake. Doug, you've been there. We had a wonderful time with you and Tia and couples. We've had 250 people, 125 couples come to that cabin to work on their relationships. I have a dear friend, known him for 42 years. He and his wife are coming. 25 years ago, they had a child that was born, twins. But the son had some serious brain damage. He still lives at home. He can't live on his own. There is not a night that he doesn't wake up once or twice or 3 times in terror, screaming. She's had only a couple of times where she could sleep through the night. She's going to have 7 of them this week. 7 of them. The last one came the last time we took them to the cabin. That's why we own the cabin. It's not about, oh, look at me, I have a cabin. No, Ramona and I go up there. We get bored being there together for 2 or 3 days. After 2 or 3 days, we want to share it. People come, and when they come, they own it while they live there. It doesn't belong to us. It was a miracle, intentionally created, but a miracle. It is an intrinsic motivator, not a cabin. It's a vehicle that reminds me of who I want to be and become. And it was in the becoming that it was created. And it's there to serve people. That is the thing that's the secret. Now, here's the danger. 93% of Take Shape for Life coaches have an enormous capacity to spend time thinking about what they want very vividly. 98% of that number have a natural proclivity, that's a natural negative tendency, to use that gift to engage in destructive practices. And one of the most destructive is escape and avoid fantasy. When people say, what is our why? What is our why? What is your why? What is your why? And we come up with some extrinsic thing. The risk is, instead of focusing on the intrinsic valuation of the intrinsic, of the people, of lifting and building the people, we start focusing on that extrinsic thing, and we spend valuable time thinking about what it's going to be like after it's created. That's fantasy. We want to get away from annoying people. We're tired. Life has been tough. It's difficult. We haven't shed our emotional baggage yet. And we just like to have a tropical island somewhere where we get away from all those annoying people. It's not true for everyone, but for many. And for some, it's about ego. It'll make us feel better. It could be a house. It could be a car. It could be being out of debt. It could be bringing a spouse home. Financial freedom. Time freedom. Again, it's not the thing. It's not how much it costs. It's what it does to our soul. What is true of every leader that I have ever spent time with? They naturally, intuitively have a secret desire and a real intention to engage in life. They don't want life to be easier. They want it to be more full. They don't want to get away. They want to engage. They want to embrace principles. The primary one is they want to keep acquiring new levels of ability to handle even more responsibility with greater levels of ease. Because success brings responsibility. They want to connect and serve people. They want to intrinsically value people, and it motivates them. They want to create value everywhere they go, and with everything they meet, they take everything they have and they make it better. And lastly, they want to contribute to the world. I was thinking about a session earlier this week with Lisa and Jamie Castro. Doug is in their organization. They have a beautiful home on a little island just west of Saratoga in Florida. They have gutted it. And now they're going through the process of creating a business that will fund the remodeling of this beautiful place. Why? So Lisa can say, look at my beautiful place in Florida. No, if you think so, you missed the whole point. Her dream, and I know her dream, is to bring her people there, to give them a moment to repose, to refresh, to sit out by the pool, to sit on the dock and watch the manatee float up, to create in them an opportunity to consider a possibility. She wants to become the person who would have this home, who would use it to serve people. Can you feel this? That is intrinsically valuing something. It could be as simple as a ring, as expensive as a sailboat, as a home in Maui. Doug, I won't say more, but he wants to take on the world. He and Tia, oh my goodness. Tia, his spiritual guide. Lisa and Jamie want to bring people to this place. I could go down the list of all these great leaders. Brad and Ashley, they've got some plans. Oh my goodness, it's so fun to hear them share them. Oh, it's not about the money. If you think for a moment these leaders do what they do for the money, you've missed the whole point. They're doing it because there's something that intrinsically motivates them, something. It lifts them, it builds them, and they want to use it to lift and build others. It's all about what that thing will do to their soul and to the soul of another person. That's an intrinsic motivation of a thing. Everybody have that one? Now, if we get it, we're going to answer one of the most troubling questions. How many of you have felt uncomfortable serving and being paid to serve? They have that discrepancy. I believe that comes from an ability to serve at a high level, which most of you have, and the desire for something to have life be a little easier. Because you see, when we seek ease, we are out of balance. We're not congruent with creation, nor with service. Because on one hand, we want to serve, the other, we just want to get away from everyone. That duplicity, that double-mindedness can make us feel uncomfortable because our secret desire is ease, but yet we're very good at service. But are we just serving just to get the money? But make something, find something that intrinsically motivates you, that wants you to become the best person you can become. Hogg said it this way: I'm on this earth for a purpose, and that purpose is to grow into a mountain, not to shrink to a grain of sand. Henceforth, I will apply all of my efforts to become the highest mountain of all, and I will strain my potential till it cries for mercy. That's not a higher mountain than someone else. It's the highest mountain you can become. That's where we want to be in this process. Find that thing Because if it's helping you become the best person possible, and if it's inspiring you to help other people become the best person they can be, you're now in congruence with service. Intrinsically valuing people, intrinsically valuing the thing that will help you become a better servant and help them become better servants. Now, things are in congruence with service. That's why great leaders don't have any problem making money, because it's not about the money. It's what they're going to do with it that intrinsically motivates. Okay, number 3. There's one more. That systemic piece, structure. 93% of Take Shape for Life coaches are very entrepreneurial and naturally resistant to structure. The answer really is what Helen shared at Sundance. I'm sure she'll be talking about it at Go Global. The obstacle is the answer. The obstacle is the answer. What does that mean? In the 3rd level of the mathematics, that which we are resisting, when we choose to embrace it, the very things we want are right behind it. Take on the obstacle, and the greatest obstacle for a Take Shape for Life coach is resistance to structure. Resistance to structure. What would happen if we valued structure intrinsically? We saw it as an invitation to freedom. Invitation to freedom. We embrace it. We don't have to do any guesswork anymore. We just follow the unified system while we are intrinsically valuing people and intrinsically valuing things. Now we've got the trifecta. So here's a question for you, summarizing this. Number 1, highest mathematical value, intrinsically valuing people. So 2016, and I might add the last week of 2015. How many people do you want to intrinsically value? That means you're going to listen to them. You're going to talk to them. You're going to share with them. You're going to stand up for them. You're going to invite them. You're going to get them on program. You're going to walk by their side. You're going to create that result. And if you're a mentor leader, you're going to inspire your coaches to do likewise. How many? Make a commitment. Make a commitment. You'll have a reason to get up every morning. You'll know exactly how many you're going to find. And then you're going to intrinsically value them. Listen to them. Step into their world. Take down their walls. Release that cooperation that will flood out over you. How many? Make the decision. Number 2, what thing lights your fire? What thing speaks to the fibers of your being? What is it? Is it a sailboat? Then own it. Is it a cabin? Then own it. Is it a house in Maui? Then own it. Is it a desire to change the world? Then own it. Is it a house in Florida? Own it. It doesn't matter how much it costs. The question is, what does it do to your soul to inspire you, to encourage you to become a better person? What is that thing? That when you have it, you'll be able to use it then to lift and build and encourage others to become their very best self. What is it? It's not for me to decide or anyone else. And it doesn't matter how much it costs. It could be a $50 ring. It could be $1 million property. It doesn't matter. It's what it does to you. Find that thing. Ponder this today. Give yourself permission because it's been hard to give yourself permission to verbalize it, to write it down, to own it, to begin to build it, because you may have wanted it just to escape from life, to hide from people, to feel better about yourself. Let that all go. Engage, embrace, connect, serve, create value, build it, own it. What is it? Don't go to bed tonight without identifying it. I absolutely know what mine is. It has nothing to do with ego. It lights my fire. There are many things in all of our lives. Leaders on this phone who have now created. Do we stop there? We never stop there. We now use that tool to lift and build, and the very next thing we do is move to the next thing that lights our fire. It's living. Oh, choose to live. Find that thing. And number 3, what structure are you willing to embrace at an intrinsic level to make it part of your being that will wake you in the morning and drive your focus and discipline and effort and action? What is that structure? Can you stop fighting if you have been a unified system? Can you open your mind to what your leaders share? Perhaps knowing more than ever before what drives them. They're not here for the money. When they call you at the end of the month to challenge you to keep going, it's not about their money. Oh, it is about money because they intrinsically value what it's going to do, and they want you to do the same. If everybody in Take Shape for Life were intrinsically valuing people, can you imagine this? Intrinsically valuing people. Had something that they intrinsically valued that was speaking to their soul, that was congruent with service. And they were intrinsically valuing structure. And it was igniting their passion. And they were working without counting the cost or tracking the time, doing whatever was required. To create that in the lives of people, to create that thing, to embrace that structure. Can you imagine? Because here's the bottom line. It's why I love Take Shape for Life. The mission is worthy of intrinsic motivation. What you do for people, the actual possibilities of what you can create through intrinsic motivation, things, and the structure you can embrace as a human being and stop fighting, resisting, resenting. You have an opportunity here. Incredible opportunity for you and for everyone you meet. Intrinsic motivation. Let's start igniting it. Let's see what happens in 2016. Driven by intrinsic motivation.
Wow, Dave. I love that. You know, it is an awesome mission that we have, and it is a win-win, isn't it? All the way around. I mean, we help so many people out, and we help achieve our dreams. And I love what you said about igniting our passion. You know, but you said first, how many are you going to help? You know, how many are you going to listen to and value? And you're exactly right with what you were saying about the examples that you used. I mean, it's all about what it can do for us, all of us. It's about what we can do for others. It's not about the thing, it's about what it can do. And it's about continuing with that passion of that, whatever you're going after. It was interesting when I reached a certain level with Take Shape for Life, and I started earning the income that I wanted to earn, because I I had a goal for myself, what that looked like. And I remember looking at my commissions and getting a call from Dan Bell, and he goes, so what did you earn last month? And I told him, and he goes, is that all? And there's a reason why he said that. It was for me to continue to explore the possibilities beyond where I had gotten to. And it's just like, and Dan always says, he talks about the scriptures. He says, a lot of people get it wrong. It's not the money. Money isn't the root of all evil. It's the love of money. And being intrinsic about this extrinsic thing. It's amazing. I mean, how you put it. It really is true, and a lot of people don't see that. But hopefully, with what you said today, they can see it a little bit clearer, and they can go after their goals and their dreams, and understand that represents whatever they desire, whatever they want. That is going to be represented by a lot of people getting healthy, and it's all a win-win, like I said, Dave. So thank you so much for that, and we're going to have you back in just a bit.
Brian, I have to read this text I just got. I hope Terry doesn't mind. She said, also freedom of stress by being able to pay bills and cover expenses, so we have more capacity to serve others and be fully present. Pay off student loans, pay for piano lessons, to assist children to be more. Make money so husband doesn't need to work overtime to also be able to pay the bills. See, this is just how leaders think. This is how they think, everyone.
It's awesome. It's awesome. And I love the way you put it together, Dave. And we're going to have you back in just a few minutes after we talk a little bit about some of the extrinsic things we're going to do to help people think intrinsically, help them with their goals and their dreams, but also going into the last week here. Doug, you back on?
Hey, Brian, I'm here.
Great. Well, Doug, you're going to talk to us a little bit about that, about what people can do right now, the action steps they can take for this last week going into the first of the year, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll just dive right into it because, there's lots of good things to share. But before I do, I just, I love the way this call is being set up because of what Dave just said is so true. Last night for the evening of Christmas, we got together and did a big family Zoom with Tia's extended family, cousins and double cousins. And I mean, it was just a big family Zoom, and everyone went around and shared about their year. And as we began to hear the stories of some of the family of Tia's that I had never met, begin to hear the stories and some of the joys, some of the frustration, some of the excitements, and what they have been able to do and what they hadn't been able to do. Towards the end of it, something stood out really clear to Tia and I. And it really, I guess it more broke our heart because we know what is possible. But the one thing that got said was where everyone ended the call was, we need to have a family reunion. And then everyone started talking about a state where we should have it, and then what time of year. I am not kidding. There's probably 18, 20 families on. Probably 7 or 8 of the families said, we don't know if we can attend. And everyone was like, well, okay, well, we could have it closer to home or in your state maybe. And they said, no, I don't know if I can get the time off work this year. And I thought like for a few days, but they were talking about, we can't even leave the area because I don't know if I can get the time off of work. And mine and Tia's heart just sunk and said, wow, we have a lot of work to do. And you just that's the average family in America needing, so much freedom. And so, having said that, I found this little quote last night, and it was so awesome. And then I'm going to get into the top 10 here, but it says, fight for your family, fight for yourself, fight for your friends, and fight for your freedom. In life, you don't get what you deserve. You get what you fight for. And as we head into the season, guys, I just challenge you and I encourage each one of you to fight for what you're contending for this year. Like it says here, we don't always get what comes easier. We don't always get what we maybe think we deserve. We get what we fight for and we contend for. So with that said, hopefully you have your pen and paper ready. I'm going to go through these hopefully very quickly. That way I can bring Dave back on to close out the call. So like I said, pen and paper or something ready. And here we go. The first 3 are in exact order. Okay. Then the remaining 7 are just random. So number 1, I almost feel like here we go with a countdown. Number 1 is lead with your health starting today. What's going to change if you don't change? And oftentimes it's nothing. Something that I realized about a year ago at this time, I was operating, and many people that come in to Take Shape for Life, and many of you coaches may feel this way, that you come in losing weight, but how long do you continue operating as a weight loss survivor versus a health promoter? And really, this season, I can't even tell you your authenticity and where you can go for yourself when you take your personal health to the next level. T and I realized when we moved down here to this area in Scottsdale, it's an active community. So to reach the people that you want to reach, you got to be where they're going to be, and they're taking their health constantly to the next level. That has challenged us, yes, of course. I guess an A of that would be also, if you're a health coach, obviously you are, and you're on the line, then find a fellow health coach or someone for extra accountability. And if it's beginning that workout routine, if it's beginning taking your health or your fitness to the next level, and of course we all have a health coach, but something that Dan Valentine and I have been doing here the last, I think, 3 weeks, we've been getting up at 5 a.m., meeting down at the gym together. I can tell you there have been multiple days I would not have made it to the gym if I hadn't known he was going to be there. And when we both got there, we come in still kind of, wiping our eyes a little bit, but to know that someone is there with you. So it may not be in place of going to a gym this year for you, and hopefully it is, but find someone, talk to your health coach. We all have a health coach, and take your health to the next level. That will set the tone for this next season as we leap into the new year. Number 2, reach out to others. Reach out to others and current clients and let them know that you and a few others are taking it to a new level. There's nothing worse than saying, hey, you need to do this or you need to do that. But when you invite and say, hey, I'm taking my health to the next level. Will you join me? That doesn't single anybody out. In fact, people love to be a part of something. So as you're reaching out this time of year saying, hey, I'm taking my health to the next level. Would you like to join me and do it together? You'll have so much more response. Number 3, this is a big one. Of course, they're all big ones, but is if you are a senior coach and higher, today, I want you and I encourage you to print out and fill out a brand new map. And if you're on video or you're watching this on recording, I'm holding up the monthly action plan right now. But what you can do with that is you will find that a lot has changed. Orders have been shifted around. No matter where your business is at in the last week, it's time to kind of start fresh to where you can know where your current reality is. Okay, what's in Office in Motion? This is very extrinsic here, but it's very helpful to at least know what you need to do based on your desired outcome and your goal of where you want to reach month end. So here, imagine we're out December 31st, 5.5 days from right now. It's very clear for you to know exactly how many clients you need and basically how many, maybe it's senior coaches or something that or any of your coaches that you want to assist. Now, also along with the map is decide that you're going to reach that goal. Nothing happens by chance. Don't hope, you don't try, you don't want to. I mean, you can, but I can guarantee it will not happen if you say, I'm going to try or I'm going to hope. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just things happen when you decide to, and then you set an action plan. Of course, also with your map, you're like, okay, what is exactly this map? Talk to your business coach. If you're senior coach or higher, talk to your business coach. Have them help you fill it out. Of course, we have a video on that too on simple systems, and use your business coach to assist to do it. Okay, next 7 are action steps. Number 1 is follow up. Follow up with everyone that has ever messaged you, texted you, and if you have shared the program with them. One of my favorite follow-up text messages or a video to send, I'm going to talk about video here in just a second, is this. And I'm going to try to say this slow. You may have to go back down and write this down. Is, hey, and then I insert their name, okay? Hope you had a great Christmas week. I know last time we talked, you were considering the program that I coach, and you had mentioned to me, and then you insert their why they wanted to be healthy, okay? So it's very important to repeat that back to them. Hopefully you took good notes. And why it was so important to you. Just wanted to let you know that I'm here for you when you're ready and am confident we can reach your goal together. Now that could be done through text. That could be done through private message. I'm going to talk about video chat here in just a second. Okay, you could even do that exact thing through a video, and that would be very powerful to send a 30-second video to somebody saying exactly that. You will not believe the amount of people that are ready to get healthy if you will just extend the hand to them first. They're thinking about you right now. They're kind of scared. They need someone to call them right now or text them and say, let's do it together. Let's work on your health together. I'm here to coach you at a high level if you're ready to get healthy. Let's do it together. Really use that word let's. Okay. Number 5, we are on Facebook. Of course, we know Facebook works so well, but one of the best things that you can do is fire up the momentum in your client support pages. What this does, we all know that a rising tide raises all ships. If your client support has been quiet, or your client support Facebook page has been quiet lately, well, let's build that momentum. That's a great way to reignite old clients. They're sitting in there just like you get the notification when somebody posts in your client support or some random group, whether you're in it or not, you at least see the notification. Your old clients and your current clients are watching that page, whether they are liking or whether they are commenting at all. So encourage your clients to post. Of course, clients won't be posting stuff in your client support page if you're not as the leader. And coaches, if you're part of somebody else's client support page and you all work on it together, I encourage you to take ownership of that client support page on Facebook and act as if it was your own. Again, rising tide raises all ships. If 6 or 7, 8, 10 of you coaches are all posting to the same group, I tell you what, momentum is going to begin to happen and people are going to be like, I can do this, okay? You might even consider doing like a 7 days of hope in your client support page, just something that's going to create a lot of people coming together and excitement. All right, next is change your profile picture on Facebook to a before and after photo. If you don't have a before and after photo, go down, meaning you're already healthy and you didn't lose weight on Take Shape for Life. Congrats to you. There's many coaches that are that way now. Go down and take a sugar shot, holding up the weight of sugar that maybe all of your clients lost in the month of November. Okay, it's very simple to do that. Something that represents health. Of course, 1 second here. Okay, so if you haven't done that, go take it, change out your profile picture. That way, when everyone comments or sees your picture, the first picture that comes up is your profile picture. Okay, next is post a few more before and after photos today and over the next week than you normally would. You can always go back and start backing off here in a few weeks, but right now is when people are deciding to do something. If you're the first picture or you're the thing that they think of when they're ready to get healthy, which is they're ready, guys. Okay, they just need to. They're looking for a picture that you would post that will identify with them, or that they can say, "Ooh, that guy looks like me, and he lost that much weight." They're looking for something that they can identify with. All right, next is referrals. This is number 7, referrals. Increase your referral credit if you feel like you need to, but I've actually found that if I increase my client support and I ask my clients to refer and why I would want them to refer, I actually find that I get better engagement and people want to help their health coach out. If you have felt like you provided great client support to your client, ask your clients, who do they know that would be interested? Have I supported you well? Will you reach out? Will you share? I'm accepting new clients right now. Really bring your clients into your referrals. Of course, some of your clients we've had great success with encouraging them to post their sugar shot or encouraging them to post their update of their health transformation on Facebook. We know that accountability is one of the best. This helps your clients become successful long term. And of course, one other one is if your client is open about on Facebook and they're open about sharing their journey, post a congratulations message directly to their wall. All of their family and all of their friends will see it. Okay, number 9 is fill out, and this is so huge. Fill out a new 100s list. Now you're like, Doug, I did that right when I became a coach, and I'm like, oh, that's awesome. But let's do it again. I'm doing it again, and I encourage you to print out, as you print out that map, something else that prints out right with it is the contact sheet. You're going to need about 2 or 3 of those, but every single coach on the line today, fill out that new 100s list and write down 100 people that you know of that are not a client or coach yet. Now, doing that and making the commitment, making a 10-day commitment, this is going to be huge right here. Make a 10-day commitment to reach out and say hello to 10 people a day for the next 10 days. That's 50 by the 31st, and that's all 100 by the 5th. The cool part about that is you're not reaching out saying, do you want to get healthy? Hey, I haven't told you that I'm a health coach. That's just starting a conversation with them. You will find that your connections today will lead to conversations tomorrow, and your conversations tomorrow will lead to clients on the 30th and the 31st. And your connections today will lead to connections and clients on the 2nd and the 3rd. This will be priceless, and then keep that going. The only other thing I would add to that is something that Tia and I do every single time a year. You guys can't really see it on video here, but we get out a new whiteboard. And just like, you know, we love to have a planning meeting for everybody that we're wanting to share the program with. And we kind of create this whiteboard into what we call a war board, a war of health, that we are literally, we write down everyone's names, we circle names, and we message, and we see who we've talked to, so we can keep very good, clear point on who we have connected with. And lastly is video text, video message, and video Facebook. Did I say video? Yes. 2016, you want to know where social media and technology is going? It's going to video. You notice that Brian changed the A-Team call a couple of weeks ago to taking it to Zoom. We are now connecting at a higher and a deeper level, and the connections these days are made through video. Connect with people. You might even be saying, Doug, I've been a holdout here. I'm scared to do video, or I feel stupid on video. First of all, I'm going to go a little bit unplugged here. I'm just going to go ahead and say, is the video about you? You know, is this about you reaching your goals, or is this about reaching other people? And it's really about reaching other people and connecting with them the way they need to be connected with, and speaking to their heart, letting them see your passion, letting them hear your heart behind that. So lastly, I would just say this is, if you're scared to do a video and you're like, I'm always the person that does 9 or 10 or 12 retakes, don't watch your video, okay? Whatever you posted or whatever you recorded the first time is the best one. Just run with it, and that's where usually your heart shines through. If you go back and keep watching it and rewatching it, you will get you'll start wanting to change it, and then it won't seem right. Remember, the video is not about you. It's about reaching who needs to be reached. So if you haven't started using video, do that. Send video text messages to these 100 people. You might even do a video on Facebook that just, maybe you've been posting before and after photos for a while or adding value to people, but now you're able to post a video and keep your videos no more than 60 seconds to 90 seconds, okay? More than 90 seconds, you will lose half the people. People will not watch a long video. But post a video about why you're a health coach, why you've been posting these photos, and how you can help them, and you will find that it absolutely will move you and your business forward. And lastly, these aren't really a part of the top 10. I just want to talk about them, and Brian, you can go over them as well, is if you want expanded thoughts on this, Dan Valentine, about a month ago, created a video, a 30-minute training video called 12 Massive Action Steps. And Your Global has access to that if you want it, but now would be a great time to watch that or rewatch that and apply those if you want guaranteed results from doing those actions. And then, of course, just I would say tomorrow night we're hosting a trilogy call. In fact, Tia and Becca Tinter are hosting a awesome trilogy call that's focused around stay-at-home moms making executive incomes and helping a lot of people get healthy and what's possible. That is tomorrow night at 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific, and I know your Global has access to getting you that link, and we have event invites on Facebook and things going on like that. So Brian, I know that was a lot, but I'll turn it back over to you.
No, that was great, Doug, and that last one spoke to me. That video texting, because I know I get a little nervous sometimes on video. Doing that, and like you said, it's not about you. So thanks for that. But all these things are great. These top 10, and Doug, if we can get this from you, we'll go ahead and send it out in an email too. These top 10, and I like what you said about Dan Valentine, his video. Maybe we can post that up in Facebook again for people to go to. But all these things are great tips, great advice, great things, action steps that people. If you guys take these action steps, I was writing all these down while you were talking, Doug, and I'm going, oh, yep. I mean, all of them are gold, and they're right on. But I want Dave Blanchard to talk just for a minute or so. I know we're reaching the hour point here, but this is so awesome. I just love this. I mean, this is a great way to end the year and begin the new year. Dave, are you there?
I took copious notes, Doug. Thank you.
So Dave, with your dream selection, how does what Doug just said play into that?
We could spend time and go through every single one of these and apply it to intrinsically valuing people, intrinsically valuing things, intrinsically valuing structure. I think what's most important is perhaps you may have listened differently this morning. You may have listened differently this morning. If I'm going to intrinsically value people, love them enough to talk to them, Doug just gave us very specific ways to create a connection, to a conversation, to inviting them to participate in the program so that they can have this experience. I love the beginning. Lead with health starting today. I was thinking about Og Mandino's comment when he started the 10 scrolls. Today, 26th of December, today I shed my old skin, which had too long suffered the bruises of failure and the wounds of mediocrity. Today I am born anew, and my birthplace is a vineyard where there's fruit for all. Just think about these 10 items in the context of I'm going to intrinsically value people. I'm going to care enough to talk to them. I'm going to intrinsically value things. I'm going to build a business that will create those things, and I will become the person. I will let go of my resistance. I'll become the person. I'll let go of my fear and my doubt. They used to say, Dave, you've got a radio voice. And I would say, yes, and a radio face. Video scared me to death. And all of a sudden, you just get to a point where it's not about you anymore. You just want them to feel what you want to say. And it doesn't matter how it comes out. It doesn't matter how polished it sounds. It doesn't matter. They can feel it, intrinsically feel it. So let's care enough about intrinsically valuing your business so that it can help you grow and stretch and become, so that you can get those things that intrinsically motivate you, and let us intrinsically embrace this structure. Let's look at this differently. A new 100 list? Oh, I've heard that before. I run out of people. No, go back and think about intrinsically loving people. Who do you want to intrinsically validate? Who? That's who's on the list. How could you help lift and build them?
Great.
And what structure would you embrace? That's simple. Doug, wonderful. Great list.
Great. Thank you so much, Dave. And yeah, I mean, think about it. We have the goods, we're helping those people out. I mean, it's who's it going to benefit most? It's going to benefit them most. Yes, it's going to help us get our dreams, our goals, our desires. And I love what you said about igniting our desire with these extrinsic things. That's all it is things, but it ignites our desire to help more people to achieve these things. And it actually, you never arrive. You never arrive. It's the journey. It's continuing. If you arrive, you're dead. You've got to keep on going. And I just love all the things that you said, Dave. And Doug, thanks to both of you for being on and really helping with today's call. We have our leadership call coming up on Monday. You want to make sure everybody's on that. We're going to talk more about the event that we're having on the 9th and how to continue inviting people to that and really to make that the next big event. We have Go Global coming up, of course, in the end of February, and you got to qualify for that if you haven't qualified already as an executive director. But you got plenty of time to do it, and you still have plenty of time to achieve the incentive trip. And that's again an extrinsic thing. But why are you doing it? Why? It's all about why you're doing it, right, Dave? It's all about why are you doing it? Why are you doing the things you're doing? And if you're doing them for the right reason and it's not about ego or not about hiding from people, you are doing the right thing. So embrace it and move forward. I love it. Love it. So thank you so much, Dave. And thank you so much, Doug. This has been an awesome call. It's a great way to end our calls for the year. And to think about the new year and beginning to really think about things. Think about what we want. What do you want? On the call today, we have a couple hundred callers today that were on the call, all excited, I'm sure, about what's in store for them for the next year. And we have just a great thing to help people get what they want, a great vehicle to help people get what they want. And thanks so much again, Dave and Doug, for being on the call. And I'd like to end the call right now. So thank you so much.